Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Sleddercast podcast. We're still here at Heydays, North Branch, Minnesota. It's a Sunday morning, a little bit warmer than yesterday. I think we got to 50s this morning. Yesterday we were in the 30s. Yeah. So you brought a little bit of that weather down yesterday.
Something like that, huh?
I think, right, from Alaska. I've got Nik Pahno here. You were just telling me, like, the first in-person podcast.
Yeah. Done a few over the phone. They've always gone well, man. I love talking and chatting. So I'm pumped to do it on the camera. You know, we get that good quality. There's no layover. You're talking over each other. So.
A little bit difficult to sync up, you know, on an in-person in Alaska, right?
Yeah.
So, first time at Heydays?
First time at Heydays.
How's it been?
Oh, man, I'm like a broken record right now. I'm telling you, it's the bomb, you know. Everyone's here. And it's like out of the, you know, million people, the 1,000 people you want to meet, they're all here. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's just the most happening place as far as the sled community. And even like it's so much more than that too, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody that comes here, it's just like the array of businesses and people and just stuff that's going on. I mean, I haven't even touched half this place yet.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
I mean, I'm serious. I'll be here all 3 days, and it's going to take 3 trips to touch everything, you know, and get around. So yeah, it's more than I could have. I was trying to picture it, you know, and it's just way more than I could have ever imagined.
Yeah. Like what you just said, with you being up in Alaska, it's difficult to get down to some of these shows, you know, before the season kicks off. So for you to get down here, where kind of like everyone in the industry kind of migrates to one location.
Right.
It's a tough thing to pull off out there in Alaska, right?
Yeah, man. Oh, it's definitely, and that's why it's, for me, getting out and putting my face to people is like a big deal, you know, because it's been like years since I've been able to actually get out, but like everyone's kind of seen my videos and like what I'm doing up there.
Who's this Nik guy?
What is this guy
What's
doing?
Nicky
is he real
up to?
even?
Yeah.
Who's posting these videos? Yeah. You know, so here I am. I'm trying to talk it up, and I got the OEM brought me here to do some talking about the new rigs. And,
here with Skidoo?
Yeah. Super, super blessed to put my foot in that door, you know. And yeah, it's been a dream, honestly. It's kind of a trip, you know.
Yeah.
Just wanting to have done this, you know, growing up, and then being on the stage up there and talking.
Yeah, help me jog my memory. Were you the first Alaskan or first Alaskan on the Skidoo team? Is that
no? Ashley Chaffin.
Yep.
She's from Alaska. I think there's been a couple kind of here and there.
Yeah.
You know, maybe just pop in. I don't know. Corey Davis was riding a Skidoo, maybe, or just a couple guys. I mean, we're few and far in between up there, huh? You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like that's probably Skidoo's first investment in a while up there. Ashley's like a vet, you know.
Yeah.
She's been in for a long time.
Yeah.
Since before I was riding, probably.
Yep.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it was good. I think just taking a step towards a younger cat, maybe taking a little bit of a leap of faith, you know. They picked me up kind of, you know, we started kind of working together like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, you know. So it's, you know, they kind of take a gamble, right? I was still like I was still kind of a loose cannon.
Who's this Nik guy? What are we getting ourselves into here?
Right,
you know?
So, yeah, and that kind of builds a good relationship, too. Same, that's like my relationship with Deviant Inc. You know?
Yeah.
They're like, y'all were my first sponsor. You know, and
it's a long time ago.
Long time ago, right? Yeah, so I just can't, like, dude, I love pulls on my heartstrings. Like, I was just that kid chasing a dream, and, like, now it's kind of coming to fruition.
Yeah.
And here I am at Heydays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome, man. We've loved following you along, and, you know, you've done some cool stuff on the snow. You're doing cool stuff on the snow, winning awards, in competitions, you know, with the work you've put in, and really fun to watch.
I try not to be, like, you know, self-conscious about, I try to show the progression, you know, and I try to really get it out there. You know, it's hard to post YouTube videos. It's hard, you know, try to talk on camera and stuff, you know. It's just like, everyone that wants to do it, I just encourage him to, like, there's no bad time to start, you know.
Well, you have to start.
Like, you have to start, right? How can you get good if you weren't doing it the last 5 years already?
Yep.
You know.
And the thing is like, no one watches your first few videos anyways.
No, but
because there's no one there.
Right.
You don't have anyone, right?
Yeah, so practice. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, YouTube and stuff, and like getting into longer videos and like talking with people, and that stuff was kind of hard, but it's good content too. It's personal stuff.
Yeah,
People
variation.
engage with that. And then I come here and people feel like they know me already, kind of. They're like, "Oh, dude, what's up? I watch your YouTube," and they like already got a feel for Nik Pahno, so it's like easy to talk to him.
Yeah, I will say this, bud. You for sure nail your audio, your soundtrack on your on your videos. Like, you're literally the best at it.
And just nailing it.
You're like
just the vibe on it.
The vibe when you drop a nice crispy one.
Yeah.
The tunes you throw on there, it's
all over the place too, though, right?
Yeah.
There's variety.
Yeah.
Yeah. I listen to anything, man.
Yeah.
Reggae, hard rock, like whatever.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And it adds a lot because
Dubstep,
there's a feeling. Like you can watch something and be like, oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But when you can spice it up and sink in good audio to it, then that provides the feeling to it.
Yeah.
And people walk away like, I
like to, believe it or not, I make a lot, and then I weed through them all,
Yeah.
And then like I'll be just like going through them, maybe a bunch of videos and stuff, and then I had put a track to one, and then it gives me like a chill, and I'm just like, that's the one. That's the ticket. You know? I mean, a lot of people are gonna dig that one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then sometimes I think that people are worried about what other people are gonna like too, and they end up selling themselves short on their own personality because they're trying to like maybe cater to their audience or whatever versus just being themselves, and offering like a true, like, it's like I see it as art, it's like it's my way of presenting myself and my style or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so like it should be 100% original.
Yep. Yeah, I love
and
that.
I do love, but like it's not like I don't take tons of inspiration from like all sorts of people, whether it's like downhill freestyle mountain bikers, dirt bikers, other, Caleb, other guys in the industry, just like, take a little bit of everything and then make it, your own.
Yep.
And then, make it's original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the right way to do it, for sure. So, well, we got a question for you to kick things right off. Okay, we had a nice little intro there. Kind of get the, get the cobwebs off a little bit. It's a little early. But, Nick, for those who are just tuning in, they're swiping through their gram right now, right? Or they're thumbing through thumbnails on YouTube.
Yeah.
They see this thumbnail of us sitting here. What is the thing that we can tell that person, knowing what we're going to talk about in this episode, that's going to intrigue them enough to stop what they're doing and dial in and listen to this episode right here?
Right. Yeah, and I was thinking about this, and I'm just like, we can go on forever about it, but like really it's so unique and it's so high level. It's world class stuff, whether it's hunting or it's snowmobiling or it's cliff diving or whatever it is, and it's in a place that offers a scenic view that is,
it's majestic, man.
That is world class in itself, right? And then we're gonna try and put an athlete that's the next level to do something, or put yourself in a position that's maybe risky and offers a big payoff, right?
Yeah. So we're
maybe
gonna
test yourself, right, in a place like that.
Yep.
So rugged as Alaska.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
In a place where there's no help, right?
That's what I'm saying. Help, when I'm putting this together, I'm like coming up with some of these questions. I'm like, man, the stakes are like a lot higher for you guys, in a lot of cases.
A lot of times. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, there's like, there's specific places that, you like to recreate whatever you're doing because it's a lot safer. Yep. And the access isn't super dangerous. And say a helicopter could come and pick you up if you got injured or something,
Yep. Well, cool. Well, let's kick it off real quick. Let's get a little background here, okay?
Yeah.
Earliest memory of snowmobiling.
Earliest memory of snowmobiling. Someone was just asking me, like, me and Steve Martin were talking. He's like, how long have you been riding, And like, so sleds are a tool in Alaska, right? So everyone knows how to ride.
Yep.
But like nobody, like not a lot of guys care to rip.
Yeah.
That's the deal. Like everyone knows how to ride them around, go get firewood with them and stuff. Like all of that. But I would say like, I had this, like we always use them to get up to the cabin, right? But I had this picture of me doing a wheelie. And I just remember thinking that was the baddest ever, And and then I would try to ride across the lake, on like one ski.
Yep.
But like I'm not carving, but I'm just like riding across, like I'm riding a straight line on one ski.
Lake,
one ski and that, So like I had like a little drive early on. That was kind of like my little blip, and then like school sports and stuff like kind of takes over. Like
you played football.
I did.
Right?
I played football and basketball, track. I did all sorts of stuff, and I was a competitive athlete. I was super competitive, and I really like to, every kid wants to be a professional athlete and stuff, right? That's just kind of, of whatever, whatever it is that they love to do at the time.
Yep.
And so that kind of consumed my life for a few years, and then I found myself coming back when I was like about 21, really, and I was back in Alaska, and I got a mountain sled, and it just took off. It's like it's hard to. It snowballed so fast, right? It's because it's only been 4 years since I really started riding.
That's crazy,
I was in school, you really can't ride while you're going to school full time, right?
Yeah.
You get like winter break off, but like everyone's going to be toasting the zones. And what if you don't get good weather, 10 days or whatever, you're back home?
Yeah.
So, I would do spring breaks. And what was crazy is I went to school here in Minnesota for college.
Uh-huh.
And,
what made you come to Minnesota for college?
I got a small scholarship for football. Yeah. And really just like I wanted to be in like Montana, Minnesota, Wyoming, or somewhere kind of in the Midwest, northern Midwest. So I kind of picked that out. But everyone here was like, everyone knows what snow machines are.
Yeah.
I mean, like everyone ditch bangs. When it's a good winter, everyone's riding.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And I would go back on like spring break, because like halfway through March. And I would ride my snow machine, and they would be like, dude, what in the world are you doing? It's like we only hear about trips out west, like everyone just trips out west. And it's like, you went back to Alaska? It's like, yeah, man. And then you realize that it's a pretty notorious place, and it's a dream for a lot of guys, believe it or not. Yeah. Even though a lot of people up there take it for granted,
Because it's the way of life, right?
Right.
Like,
well, and it's
part
hard,
of
man.
the life.
And it's like like anything, it's effort. A lot of times, you got to load up. Sometimes it's cold.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's hard. So, and then when you get out there and then you're on top of the mountain, you're like, yeah, dude, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, man, that's why I do that. That's why we wake up stupid early when it's early season and it's so dark out. And you get like 3 hours and it's cold. And then you're back at the truck and you're tired because you just beat the piss out of yourself and it's pitch black.
Sheesh. I'm gonna dial into that a little bit.
A
little bit more, because Alaska is super intriguing to me, just in general, like the state. And so I'm gonna pick your brain on that here in a minute. But it's good. I've traveled around a little bit, so like I could see how just like being gone for like 6-8 months and then showing back up in Alaska, and you're just like, yeah, this is cool. Good. Damn, yeah. It's not flat here, you know? It's crazy. The mountains go like into the ocean. It's just nuts. Wild, it's just like crazy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what do you do outside of snowmobiling that, allows you to get as much seat time on the sled as possible? So basically Alaska's like, it's like construction, like roads, infrastructure, and oil, gas and oil. Gas and oil,
yeah. And so there's a lot of great paying jobs. We got the ports too, you know. So I dabbled as a commercial fisherman for a bit, and I dabbled as a longshoreman at the port for a bit. We like send pipe up to the slope for gas and oil companies like BP and stuff like that.
Yep.
And now I'm moving into more like specialized work. I've been trying to I want to work still. I like to provide a service, for people in the community and stuff like that. I like to have purpose. So I want to work, but I'm trying to scale down the amount and be more specialized and niche. So I'm doing private contracting and stuff like that. Try to do specialty work that pays real well, but I'm not doing it all the time. I can focus on, I have passions hunting and trapping and snowmobiling, and I want to be a figure, for Skidoo. And so there's so much. And then I like to post the YouTube videos and stuff, but it's something's got to
be a content creator as well in there somewhere.
And stuff's got to get prioritized somewhere. Something takes a back seat, and family, family's gonna come first.
Yeah,
so.
just had a kid. What, about a year ago?
Yep. I have a baby girl. She's a year and a half now. Yep, and I actually have another baby girl due this next month.
There you go.
Yeah, so I've been kind of keeping that on wraps. It's like I can still come to Heydays, guys. I can handle it. Yeah, I'm not that busy. But yeah.
Nice work, bud.
Yeah.
You can have your hands. Shortly here. You're gonna be outnumbered.
I'm outnumbered, man.
I mean, gender-wise, you're outnumbered.
I'm outnumbered. I got my dog. That's good.
There you go. Yeah,
I got a big pity.
Yep. Nice, man. What's one breakthrough, pivotal moment? Because you said you just started like 4 years ago.
Essentially, yeah, like
right?
really getting into it, like watching the YouTube videos and like being like, man, that's fuck, I want to get GoPro, And
what was the moment or the pivot, transitional moment where you were like, hey, I kind of want to like take this to the next level? Was it just like watching some videos and saying, yeah, I could do that? I think that like growing up and watching the YouTube videos, like, whoever it is, it almost seems like it's unattainable to be that guy, right? And then it was, I had done 2 years here to get an associate's, and then I stopped playing ball just because of injuries and stuff. It was real hard on my head and stuff. And I went to Colorado, and there's like Woodward training facilities there, and there's a place called Progresh, and they have an airbag indoor facility, and so like, all the mountain parks are crazy for bikes and stuff around there, and there's, it's just, they're like breeding professional athletes. And I was in Boulder with, believe it or not, man, there are some athletes that come out of like Colorado, like Frisco or Boulder, Grand Junction. There is some like, man, you just go to Woodward and you're just going to see a guy pop like a 720 off on his bike. Wow.
And so I got to ride I was pretty good on my dirt jumper, and I could do flips and stuff like that. And those places let me just skyrocket with talent. And I was seeing these guys, and I'd look I'd be like, there's no way this guy's not sponsored, right? And I'd look him up, and they'd be like, oh, this is DJ Brandt and Nikolai Rogatkin. And like, these guys ride Red Bull Rampage, you know what I'm saying? It's like, man, why can't I try to do that, And so I was doing some big stuff on the bikes, and I love the sleds. Like I was saying, I had like this weird, little love for sleds always, kind of growing up, and it was just like, boom.
I want to take that over.
Honestly, what it was like, I don't want, it's because I obsessed over it, and it was tearing me apart some years. I wanted to flip the sled so bad. Like that was it. I could backflip my bike, and I could 360 my bike and stuff, but I was just like, man, a backflip on a snow machine, dude. Oh my gosh. and then seeing guys do it in the backcountry, and I'm like, dude, I'm at the best. I totally got the place to do it, It's like, there's no excuse.
Yeah.
So, and that was just like, and then this flip gives you a lot of credit, right, with people. So that kind of stuff was kind of going hand in hand, And I wanted to be more relatable because I started out as a tree rider and stuff, and I still love to get trees, So, but that was it, man. That was like I saw these guys just like they weren't missing out on life at all, and I was like, I have this weird syndrome where I just don't want to miss out. Yep. I just like go and go and go.
And what? And like
sometimes I have to check myself, and just be like, hey man, relax. Take it slow. This is hard stuff, And that's what I was saying. Like, I wanted to do the flip, and like, I was even stressing myself out about it. I would go out and ride, and it wouldn't be as good as the last one, and I'd be like, can I even do this? Am I that guy? I'm not like Brett Turcotte, dude. What am I even doing?
Imposter syndrome, man, is what they call it, right?
What is it?
Imposter syndrome, where you just your brain tries to tell yourself that you can't be that person or that.
Oh man, it tear you apart, right? And you almost prove your brain right, because you like listen to it a little bit.
Off, man, go get it.
Yeah, and like even if you got to take a break from riding or something for a couple of weeks and go check out, like that might be the best thing for you. You know? But yeah, I'd love to see all the guys. It seems like everyone's wanting to flip these days.
Yeah.
Everyone's tugging on flips and stuff.
Yeah, you pulled. Was your first flip on a 65?
I pulled a couple that I didn't really ride out, but I had pulled them all the way around, and then I usually end up kind of scraping off. I would try to throw them to like an off-axis landing with a lot of powder or something. And then I probably had done like 5 with that, and then I landed one on my 06 Rev, the short track. And that was just like, I had learned, it wasn't even the rev as much as I had learned what worked, really.
Yeah.
And then it was just it was so weird going from a 165 to a 120,
Yeah.
you know. But like, I knew it could be done, you know. And I'm so about film study. I love to just watch people do it, and then I feel like I got a better chance at it.
Yep.
And I was just dying on the mountain with Turnagain Hardcore that year, and just watching everyone flip revs and stuff.
Yep.
And I had been trying all year, and I was just like, dude, I think this one's a better sled to do it, you know. Like, and I was and I stuck a few, you know, and I'm still getting. I don't have it figured out at all. I mean, I like to pick all the guys' brains that are better than me, you know, and learn how to do it safer is the ticket, you know.
Yeah.
What like. I have a checklist even, you know, that I have to go through now before I'll do a hit. If it's a flip or a big jump, it's like I have to probe the landing. Dude, I'll do. Let me just get it out here. I'll just read it to everybody.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So you guys can write it down. People ask me for like, give me a how-to on how to flip and stuff. Dude. I'll send them a video of me explain it, like a 50-second video.
Yep.
And try to give them all that I can. And I'm just like, this is all I've got, you know. This is all I've learned. You know, I can do them consistently, you know, and take it as you want, you know, and, you know. But it's like, it might feel different for you. You might explain it differently, or, you know, whatever. And I think guys do them different. Guys do tricks and stuff different, you know.
For sure.
So
whatever works for them.
Yeah, but this list, let me see. Is it the flip jump list? Oh, dude, come on. I know the word landing is in it like 100 times. Man, I can't find it, but it's probe the landing, and then afterwards it's like, is there a landing in all caps? And then it's like, are you sure? Because in my opinion, it doesn't matter if you have a lot of snow there. If your landing isn't like set up to transition your jump, that's not a landing, right?
Yeah.
If you're not stepping up to like a smooth land, or you're not like landing on something that's the same pitch, you know, and it's even, or, you know, it's like, it's not set up correctly, that's not a lander.
Yeah.
And so like, I've got this helps me, this list that I've built helps me stay safe and like be a lot more successful at it, you know, be smarter about it. And that's like the ticket, because like everyone can do them, and the sleds these days are just so nuts. Like, I mean, you can almost just buy a backflip with a 146 9R, dude, right? I mean, I don't know. I've seen it.
Just buy a backflip.
And yeah, it's just more about having someone that's there that's willing to be like, this is a good jump here.
Yeah.
This one's tall enough, and you need to go about this fast and carry this much speed, you know. Yeah,
especially if you have if you can get some people who are consistent, so they're with you quite often, and you know, hey, like, for him, this is like money.
Right, exactly. That's like my boy Braden this year. I saw he's a good rider. He's like a solid rider all around. And I saw him tug on like a couple of flips, and the jump was just horrible. It was just like, this jump was like 4 feet tall. Yeah. And he was like, he was yanking on the bar so hard his hands were flying off, you know. And him and his sled were just going catapulting in the air. It's just like, man, he's got a set on him for tugging on. I knew where this jump was. It's like, dude, you got a set for even trying one there. Yeah. And we went out one time to a good one, and I was like, I don't like unless they're like way better than me, I don't like letting people hit a jump first, especially if I made it. Yeah. It was so hard for me to let him do it, but this thing was just perfect, and it was like a 45 foot, like a kind of a step up, but like we had like 5 feet of fresh powder. Yeah. And so it was just like, you can't go wrong, man. And this one's perfect. I was like, just be as like patient as you can with, you know, everything that you know. Just like wait as long as you can, and it'll come right around. He stuck it, you know. He looks back and he's just like, oh damn, you know, like, oh shoot, man, like that does work, you know. And you know, and then there's, you know, everyone's like, yeah, Braden's the man. So like his next three, just like we wadded them up, right? Because he went and picked out a bad one again. Yeah. And like that's the hard part, like seeing the terrain, you know, and guys like Andreas or Brett or Caleb, and those guys are like masters with their eyes, believe it or not. Like they're masters by seeing what is capable, you know, with their bag of tricks and what sled they have, right? Yep. So it's like,
bag of tricks that they have and landscape, you know. Exactly.
And like what gets guys off, you know, like I was talking with Brandon Cormier, he's from Haines, right? And they have wind lips and stuff like that. Like me, like we have these huge wind lips that blow in because we get coastal warm stuff, and it makes stuff, you know, freezes, and then there's this crazy jump, and then it gets plastered with snow, and now it's powder and it's straight up and it's hard underneath. And it's like everyone has a different style. Like Ty's, tons of drops in Canada, you know, big drops. I mean, I did a drop like 2 years ago, you know. I was like, dude, why am I not doing some of this stuff? It's just like different setup. He's got a different zone, just different rider. Totally, just everyone's abstract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys and gals, Trail is one of our newest program supporters here at the SledderCast podcast. You can find them at trail.com. They are coming in hot with all of the goodies, all the backcountry essentials. A few of our favorite must-haves are the Grizzly folding saw with razor sharp teeth that plow through those pesky branches with ease. Also the lightweight ski pole strap, a real back saver when your buddy needs that 7th pole of the day. And of course, the Trail Hot Pot exhaust cooker, because hot meals are way better than cold meals in the backcountry. So head on over to trail.com, that's TREYL.com, grab your exclusive SledderCast promo code in the description below. Let's get back to the show. Well,
I don't know if you started with a question on that.
Yeah, we started with the question.
Or if I answered it good, or if I just went off.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Yeah. We're talking a lot about Alaska because I think that's, you know, super unique for our conversation here. I grew up like, dude, Alaska. If there was a TV show and it had the word Alaska in it, I was like, I'm watching this. You know, whether it was
some of them are popular. Some of the Alaska ones, like there's like ones about guys just like homesteading and stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
There's a lot of homesteading, gold rush.
Oh, I forget, like Deadliest Catch and stuff. All that. I mean, all
Ice
that
Road,
stuff.
Ice Road Truckers. That one. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, all that stuff. It's Alaska.
People are curious, man.
Yeah.
They don't know what's going on up there, but
dude, and that's not even the half of it.
Really?
Know? Oh, man.
Okay, so
I
like,
don't know.
I've got questions about
like
Alaska.
As far as like the fishing industry, the crabbing industry, like the trucking industry. I mean, man, I think that it's everyone kind of gets. That's what, like, how else do you see it other than like the TV shows and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, how else can you picture it? Like that's literally like the illustration everyone has in their head.
Yeah.
Right, and it's just like, it's a lot looser. I think that, you know, everything is a little bit, it's turning into, everything's getting more sanctions and everything's kind of getting tighter. But like Alaska is like
still wild.
Man, it's Wild West up there, I think, like in a lot of the states still. And there's like a whole generation that isn't used to it not being the Wild West.
Yeah.
And they just kind of do what they want.
Yeah.
And so like all those industries are just like
live there,
man, there's stuff you do and don't do. There's people that you don't look at or talk to, or you let them do whatever they're doing. You don't, you know what I'm saying? You don't mess with, like, even when I'm out hunting and stuff, if I see guys, I don't want to talk to them. I don't want, you know, it doesn't, like, I don't want them to freak out. Like, there's a lot of guys up there. It's just the Wild West still, man. It's just crazy. Yeah. And so like all those industries, they're super official and they're huge industries that make tons of money. And they're like, there's tons of like super capable businessmen and like super talented guys in Alaska. It's just like, because it's so rugged, it almost makes you like rugged yourself, you know?
For
like
sure.
you just, you know, it can suck sometimes, you know?
Yep.
And like winters are hard up there too, you know. It's tough to live up there for a lot of people. That's the deal. Like winters just, I mean, man, you're gonna pay so much in fuel, heating fuel, and
tell us just a little bit about that, because I know there's, you know, for some of us, we're maybe not familiar with like just daylight. You know, like you guys got to mess with daylight, right? Like
yeah. So like,
because you're so far,
man. Well, it's just rough for like December and January, just like.
So give us an idea.
Everyone goes, well, like you better be at the trailhead before, like way before light. You should be going up in a headlight because you have like 4 hours of light.
So what time's light?
Light at like, I don't know, early season, you know, like around solstice, or like, it's like
middle, like towards the end of December.
Dude, like 11, right? And then we have it till like it starts to dusk up at like 3, right?
So you get from 11 to 3 with light.
Like riding light, and like, we're not as bad as maybe Barrow, where they don't see the sun for like 2 weeks, but Dude, yeah, I mean, it's depressing kind of. Like a lot of people, they're snowbirds. They just dip out for December, January. Everyone runs down to like Havasu or Arizona,
Sure.
Hawaii, Mexico.
Uh-huh.
Like a lot of people work seasonally,
Uh-huh.
especially like South Central. We're super like tourist inflated because of the fishing and all that.
Yeah.
So it's like everyone kind of will rip a job that's summer oriented, and then Hawaii kind of pops off during the winter and stuff. So everyone will boogie down there, and people do contracting or restaurants, a lot of servers and stuff like that. Like, the food industry.
So there's like some sort of fund that I remember
the PFD.
I remember hearing something say, "Hey, if you move to Alaska, they pay you like $15,000 a year." Some crazy number.
Right.
So when I was sitting down with I'm like, I'm gonna look into that because is that even true?
Well, I think the whole idea is that
it's like the PFD, the permanent fund dividend. Is that a real thing? Because Google says that you should be getting $1,312 a year.
This year? Is that what it is this year?
2023.
Yeah, so it varies, right? It is a thing, and that's what it's for, right? It's for the inflated grocery prices and like heating costs during the winter. It's like it's for difficulty of living in Alaska, essentially, is what it is, I guess. And it varies every year. We've had it from like I think 900 to like 4,000 since I've gotten it.
Wow. Yeah.
But it's every
18. Once you're 18, you dip into it when you're 18.
And I think that kids get it. I think kids get it, and their parents. So if they have like 4 kids, they're gonna cop 4 of those
for them too. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I don't think. I mean, making any dividends. Not much on that. The kids are costing you more than $1,200.
Yeah, a year.
Yeah, but it's legit, and you have to live. But you have to like live in AK. You can't do like more than 90 days at a time. You have to spend at least 185 days in Alaska. Okay. You have to have a primary residence with your stuff in it. And so you got to have like your voter ID, all this stuff, Yeah. So it's a hassle. It's actually kind of a hassle if you don't, like if you're not getting it and you're like coming to Alaska, and then you have to prove that you live here and you stay here all the time and you're not out of the state for work too much,
Yep.
But yeah, it's legit.
Okay.
PFD's legit. Pahno gets them.
Pahno, yeah.
Yeah. They're cool, man. They're dope. Like the marketplace will get flooded with like a bunch of cool shit. Like as soon as PFDs hit, you'll see like
money
PFDs.
Flowing.
Yeah, everyone's ripping off these little dirt bikes and 4-wheelers for sale for cheap.
So what you're saying is we need to figure out when that drops, then have our PFD sale. Wrap sale.
Bingo, dude. That's what it is. Yes, the PFD wrap sale.
Oh shoot,
man.
we just told everyone about it. So
it's in October next month. Keep your eyes peeled.
All right. Nice. Well, what's the worst part and the best part about living in Alaska? Like, if you had to just answer that real quick.
Danger, right?
Yep.
Whatever it is, roads, outdoors, everything, probably danger.
Chances of dying are just higher.
They're high.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the road, it's one of the most lethal roads in North America. Per capita, it might be the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a deadly road, and it really, you're not worried about yourself, man. It could be someone else, It's just like brutal. Yeah, and then as far as like when you're out doing stuff, it's remote. You're real remote a lot of times. Even just driving to Fairbanks and stuff, like I was doing a drive and like it was -30 and it was -35, and then it was like going to -40. I was on my way to Delta because I had a dealership up there, Delta Power Sports.
Yeah.
They're the bomb. Big shout out to Delta Power Sports. And I took my wife's truck, and dude, as soon as I saw it was like -25, -30, I started sweating. I was just like, gosh, the transmission's not gonna like that. It's like it's not looking real hot. And then I get there, and I didn't leave the truck running. I turned it off, dude, and it was like -30. I should have like pulled it in their shop or something. Like I wasn't thinking at all. And then on my way back, and you go like the Glen is a dangerous road, and man, in the middle of the night, you might not see anybody but maybe one trucker for like hours, right? And it's -30. And so on my way back, it's just like, dude, I lost like 5th gear. I lost 4th gear. I'm in 3rd gear, and I'm just like praying I'm not a sitting duck, And I'm just like, dude, I don't got OnStar in this thing, I'm just like, golly, it's just like, it could be bad,
Heck
could suck, man. I might have to light this truck on fire.
Yeah.
So, whatever. I will, but yeah, it sucks, man. You can and people get into trouble up there quick, there's this zone called Naliwan Lake, and you ride a river drainage up it, and the river's no joke. Like, I mean, this river's no joke at all.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's anywhere from like, I mean, it might be 1 inch to 10 feet deep, right?
Oh, geez.
So like, you might be, you know, you might think you've got it, and then you boom,
drops.
you're just, and it's gnarly fast. It's pushing water. There's big rocks, and you know, Jeff Dennis, like all these, like the guys that are pretty popular on Instagram, like Kyle, Nicole, like these, they all rip it. They go up there whenever they want. They're super talented. They water skip. Like, I remember watching them water skip the crossing. I would never go up there growing up. I was just like, I don't want any part of that.
Yeah.
And because they're coming off like a 2-foot ledge, slapping a creek that's ripping, and then like having to bunny hop out of like another 2-foot ice wall.
Yeah.
And a lot of just like, everyone's kind of learning like where all the kind of cool spots are at, and so like people are just like, yeah, I can go there, no problem, you know. And I do a little bit of trapping and stuff up there sometimes, and like I just like to go look around and poke around, look around for critters or whatever. And man, like 3 times this year, I'd be coming down this trail, and there'd be like 2 guys up to their chest in water, and their sleds are in the river, you know, and it's just like a slush bowl. And I'm just like, dude, what are you guys doing?
Got no business being here.
Like, you got to go fast across the river, man. Like, don't try to just like cruise across the slush. This is 10 feet deep, you know, and they've got ropes out and they're pulling sleds through, and it happened like, and then these other 2 guys ended up spending the night up there. They did this, you know, you have to cross this river, and it's like, you got these you got single track trails, and you might jump in the river for like 100 yards. And if you miss your single track out, dude, it's pitch black, right?
Yeah.
It's January or December, or like, you know, these guys, like, dude, they're tits up, man. And so they're going down this river, and they miss their trail out, and they just keep going down the river, and then eventually the river gets too deep. It's like, what do we do? They turn around, they can't find the trail, you know, because then they go past their trail that they came in on, and now they're just in the river, and they end up spending the night up there. And then all of my boys, like Richard and Jeff and all these guys, they're the guys that have to go out because someone's like, hey, someone's overdue at Naliwan, and so they rip out at like 1 a.m. and they got to go find, and they find these guys up there, like no problem. And it's usually how it happens. The community is the guys that get out there and like kind of get it done, you know, because a lot of the older guys, they've usually have friends that passed away in avalanches or like serious situations and stuff, or they've had close calls, you know, and they learn like, the guys up there, they know it's no joke, and they do a real good job, the older cats, of like you said, if you don't know, you don't go. Man, they're just good at that, just like not being dumb about it. Like, just certain zones you just
Experience.
don't, and you just don't go in there when the crossings aren't that good, you know, and you don't bring a guy in there, like, you know, it's not confident or whatever. But yeah,
so just
and then the best part, you know, it's almost the same. It's almost, I know it sounds messed up, dude, but it's almost
rad,
that,
right?
dude. That's what makes it. That's what I'm saying. It's like the same answer. That's what makes it so great, right? You have to be at this level. You have to use your brain. You have to think. You have to be smart, and you have to be not only good at what you're doing, but you have to think it through on like different levels, you know. And then if you're not taking what guys with experience are saying, like if you're taking it as a grain of salt, you could get hurt up there, you know. And then it's great to like I feel like I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm like dominating Alaska is how I feel, which isn't maybe, you know, a little bit. I just feel like I'm getting good at being out there, you know. I like to go by myself. I like to like hunt and trap, and I just feel super confident out there, and it's like, it feels good, man. And just like a place where like not a lot of people would be safe. I'm pretty damn safe, man. I got my inReach. I have gear. I have a super reliable. I have a brand new snow machine. Like, I am set up. I have friends that know where I'm at. You know, like I know where the bad zones are. Like, I don't mess around with the stuff I shouldn't be. And you get like there's no textbook, right? So it's like, you learn this stuff subconsciously almost, and then it becomes like, you like check it off. You're like, yes, that is why I do that. This is the way it needs to be done here, you know? So that's why, I mean, it's just like, Alaska is just so dangerous, and so the stakes are high, man. The stakes are high. The animals are big. The jumps are, you know, just as big. They're scary, you know, shit wants to kill you, you know? And then a lot of guys there have done a lot of gnarly stuff, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like some of the most premier riders have ridden these jumps that I'm riding, you know, and like all of the most premier hunters, and like they're all coming
up there. Yeah,
they're coming here, and they're 15, 20 miles away, you know.
Yeah.
And they're coming here because it's the best in the world.
You
know, the guys go to Africa, or they go to Russia. You know, they do, everything. You know. Yeah.
So, biggest animals in the world. You guys aren't far enough north to get the old polar bears, do you?
We get polar bears.
You get polar bears coming down?
Polar bears in Alaska?
Yeah.
Oh, not where I'm at.
But up higher,
north.
Right?
Oh, dude, there's too many of those things, bro. They're everywhere.
So, how did they know not to just come down? Like
the polar bears?
Yeah, you start seeing
dude,
some really light.
They're good up there, man. They're good, man.
Do polar bears and brown bears breed? You get like a little mixture.
I think if anything, it's the brown bears that aren't going up. Like,
brown bears are like, we ain't going up there.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And the polar bears, they do so well in that. They're essentially like aquatic animals, really. They're so
just
good
thrive.
at swimming, man.
They're thriving.
Oh, dude, and there's so many seals right now.
They don't need to go anywhere.
There's and the seal, dude, there's so many bears. There's so many polar bears. There's so many brown bears. Like, don't let anybody fool you guys, man. The bears are doing just fine up there. If anything,
we were talking about that yesterday.
Give
just a
some
little
love
bit,
to the ungulates, man. Give some love to the sheep and moose, you know? Yeah, dude, the polar bears, I mean, everything's sanctioned to where just certain things are protected, you know? And specifically those animals, like marine mammals and stuff, they're just off limits, right? So it's just, stuff's getting kind of skewed, you know? But, like, the native population up there, they are happy to harvest all of the seals and eat the shit out of all of them too. And I love to harvest. Like, that's my thing, man. That's like in Alaska.
What do you got in your freezer right now?
That might be that might take number one. The fish and game meat, Yeah, dude. Oh yeah, in my freezer's like moose, elk, halibut, black cod, red salmon, silver salmon, whatever. My buddy just shot a sheep, so I'm trying to go score some sheep off of him, Like, it's everything.
Yeah.
Black-tailed deer, probably some of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's living.
So my buddy got a black bear this year, and he said it's good. I don't eat black bear, but
yeah,
a little bit of everything up there.
I've heard canning. If you can, canning your bear meat can turn it rather, pretty tasty.
Yeah, well, these guys wolf it down like a good spring black bear, a berry bear, like early spring, man, or like a grass bear.
Yeah.
They love a black bear.
Sure.
Yeah, and I'm not one to hate, man. To each their own, right? Eat the black bear. It's good.
Yeah.
Cook it through.
But when you've got deer, moose, elk, caribou, right?
Yeah. Oh man. And it's readily available for your harvest. Like, usually, like, it's not like you said, you could do caribou, you could do whatever is there and easy, And it's just like a no-brainer. Don't go to the grocery store, This stuff's too good. And I was at the restaurant the other day, and like MJ was getting some salmon, and I was like, man, that does sound good. She's like, why don't you get it? I just have this rule: I don't eat fish when I'm not in Alaska, because it's just never panned out for me.
Yeah.
It's just not the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a huge plus, And like, I kind of like the homesteading feel. I like to have freedom and stuff,
Yep.
So that's just like, I like to feel like I'm in charge a little bit of my own life. Like, I've got the reins, so. And Alaska's a great place for that, dude. You got some freedom up there.
Yeah.
A lot of guys, I'd like to get a bush plane or something eventually.
Yeah.
That's like the way to do it, to really get out there.
Are you familiar with Stuck in the Rut?
Oh yeah, man. I forget their last name. Tom Schneider. Yeah. Trevor. All the they got one of the brothers.
Brother-in-law, sister, are up in
Tana.
Alaska.
And Adam. Grenda. Yeah, dude, yeah. Beast.
How far away?
My gosh, bro.
What's the distance between you guys? You guys like?
He's up there in King Salmon, but he sounds like he flies into Anchorage and stuff quite a bit. Whatever, he's like delivering fur or sheds or whatever. But no, dude, those guys, I like all of that. I just am not like a content creator in that fashion,
in that
right?
field, yeah. Yep.
And that stuff is just so intriguing and cool to me. And he's up in King Salmon. So he's out west a ways, and it's way rugged out there, man. It's windy. He flies a plane out there like it's just gnarly up in like Unit 20 and stuff. They're up on the peninsula, but they're way up north. They're like, yeah, they're way above me, you know.
Yeah,
and it's
sure.
they have critters beyond belief out there, right? Isn't that, you follow them a little bit? Man, it's just crazy, huh? And so he's like that Adam dude. He's like, that's why I feel like, I'm like not even grazing Alaska yet, other than like the snowmobile. Like I get some places on a sled, you know.
Yep.
But like those guys, man,
With the planes,
they live well, and they're living remote, truly, you know, like they're living in a village, right? And so like, you know, his access to town is his airplane.
Yeah.
You know, like, your kid's got to go see the doctor. We got to fly to Anchorage. Hopefully there's weather, right? So it's just like, I'm living like a detuned Adam Grenda life, you know, like way, you know, I'm like in town and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But like those people, like they're the ones that would give it to you straight, you know, and to tell you how it is, you know, whether it's the hunting industry or like the fishing industry. I'm sure, all of them see it out there and stuff too, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big state, you know, and they're probably miles and miles away from like the next little village even stuff, you know. Everyone's just kind of like spread out, you know. You'll be on a spot where there was good fishing and stuff, you know, a great place to live, and that's where the native people were at, you know. Like that's why they're there, because there's a killer fish spot and there's moose in the area, right?
Yeah, there's food,
and that's why there's a bunch of shacks and little houses and stuff there. Or there's a place to barge. That's the thing, you know. If you can get a barge in there, that's the ticket in Alaska.
Yep.
Logistics, you know, if you want to come to Alaska, if anybody wants to come to Alaska, man, that's the logistics, man. That's the 90% of your battle.
Yep.
Seriously, getting there, whether it's staying there, if it's weather, man, whatever you're doing, it's just like you're battling Alaska.
Yeah.
You're almost guaranteed to have it, like a great window, you know, for snow machining or hunting or whatever. You're almost guaranteed to have like a legendary one. But like you might have to wait for it a little while, but you're almost, you know, it's gonna come in there eventually. You know, you're gonna get that little beam of sunlight. You know.
Yep. Hey guys and gals, if you love the show and want to support us, head on over to deviantinc.com. Use the code SledderCast, save some money on your next premium custom wrap. If you've spent any time on deviantinc.com, you already know it is the best, easiest custom wrap builder tool out there. With its new interactive design tools, makes designing and customizing wraps super slick. We're big fans of the new color mixer tool. It randomizes colors until you land on the perfect combo. A design mixer tool is a game changer when you already know what colors you want and you want to see all of our designs in just your pre-selected colors. So head on over to deviantinc.com, use the code SledderCast, save some money on your next wrap purchase. Let's get back to the show. Well,
man, that's cool you mentioned Stuck on the Rut, dude. Those guys kill it, the production and stuff. Man, I love to see that stuff.
It's a fun channel to watch.
Man, they're world class.
Yeah.
Oh, those guys are the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, sure. I just love to see people that are super invested, you know, and stuff, and they try to perform at their best. And then for all of them to be like blue collar, you know, and like have jobs that like we have and stuff, I'm just like, dang, man. You could totally just knock everyone out of the park and just be this dude that loves to do it. Yeah. And that's it.
Yeah, so we actually are starting to work with one of the brothers, Trevor.
Yeah.
Schneider on Deviant Inc.
Trevor rips a sled, dude. Yeah, I've talked to Trevor a couple of times.
Yeah, on the old Catalyst. So.
I think I talked to Trevor before I had known that.
Like he was like that family was stuck in the rut or what?
Is Trevor the older brother? He's the youngest, I think.
I think he's the youngest.
Right, and the older two brothers, they're kind of like the guys that really started that deal. Yeah, and so I talked to Trevor maybe a couple of times before, and then I realized, I was like, dang, man, those are his older brothers, you know, his sister and stuff. You know? Yep. Wow. Cool. Yeah, dude, cool people, I guess, right?
Yep. Well, we're moving right along. Question on...
Yeah, how are we doing on time? How long are we doing this?
How are we doing? We're doing it. We're about 50 minutes.
Okay, we're
getting cruising, man.
Yeah, we're cruising.
So there's a few other areas I want to kind of tap into the Pahno brain here.
Yeah. What do you got?
This is kind of more like along the professional side of snowmobiling.
Yeah.
Okay? And
yeah, let's change the shift gears.
Specifically, we already talked about backflipping, right? Got into that. How much work did it take to get on with Skidoo?
Yeah, like how do you like, how do I gauge that, right? How much effort and stuff I put in,
Like, was it something that you were like
that
I'm
was a
gunning
goal?
for that?
Like,
It's
this
a goal,
is a
or was it just like
absolutely,
yeah, I'm doing my thing, and if it
absolutely.
happens, it happens,
I'd be lying to you. I wasn't just like, man, I'm the poster guy for Skidoo.
Yeah.
Like in my head, like I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Alaska. Like I got the best spot up here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna buy a camera. I'm gonna do it right, and then you lose kind of sight of that for a little bit. You tear your hair out for a year or two, right? And that's kind of how it was. And I remember just like, dude, getting so jacked up on like my first sponsorships, right? Like the Deviant Ink, and like I worked with 509, and dude, I was just, man, whatever with Skidoo right now. It's like, yeah, well, dude, I'm riding the do, and that would be, man. But that's a pipe dream, right? That's not like, that's a big deal, right? You have to not only be a rider, but you have to be this person, right? And you have to carry yourself a certain way and talk. You have to be a guy that is going to offer something to them, right? And so I try to develop that with that in mind. Oh, you know what? I should be a rep. Like I should show them I could be a representative of the product, right? And I can be consistent, and I can engage this specific audience. And just that audience, right? Like I'm not like, my page isn't like too crazy, right? Like I might post a hunting picture every once in a while, like just a life update, maybe just like twice a year, right? But like everything is really geared. It's like a Skidoo commercial kind of. It's like how I see it, really. Yeah. And it's just like, basically, here's all these advertisements of what the Skidoo can do. Mm-hmm. And so like to me, I was just like, there's no way that will be a product. Like being an ambassador eventually will be a product of this, right? If you just keep doing it and doing it, And it's crazy because there's so many different ways, right, to manifest that. And like, so my boy John Gibbs, he runs the Facebook groups, like the Skidoo riders, the Skidoo 850 riders, these specific, motor groups, the rev, And so that's his way of engaging and advertising, right?
That's his avenue.
Right. And he's got a massive, like, dude, he's touching a ton of people, like hundreds of thousands, and on a real level too, like a real good personal level, with his profile right there and stuff. Yep. And so there's all these different ways to do it. And so like naturally, I guess, doing just badass advertising was like my idea of what I wanted to offer to companies, right? And as myself, as an athlete. And so I guess that's kind of how it, but it was, man, I was gunning for that. I mean, I've always been a Skidoo fan, man. I've like my folks, they were homesteaders, like my mom's mom and dad, they were homesteaders in Alaska. They had 15 elands. I got a picture of them all with Skidoo full faces on, like old school, dude, like 70s. Like MJ be copping these helmets at the SWAT meet. Yeah, oh yeah. So, and like, I bought a couple other sleds, My mom was like all giving me junk about it, and stuff like that. So it was bonus,
proud.
Man. It was bonus. Like I wanted it, and it was totally bonus. It was like the dream. So I was absolutely gunning for it, man, 100%. And like, looking up to a lot of those guys too. It's just, and OEM's got, it's like it's what everyone would like, right?
Yes,
it's like it's prestigious, I guess, right? And it maybe means that
well, it means you put a ton of work. Like it means you've matched talent with a ton of work.
Right.
Like
exactly. Yeah. You're multifaceted, right? And you have some way engaged with the industry, right? In some sort of way. And a lot of people do it, whether it's racing, there's so many ways.
Yeah.
Like the Facebook groups, I mean, snowcross and hill cross, hill climbs, all that stuff, man. I'm like, not like, I'm so small in the industry, like hill climbs are so big, and like there's so many more people that go and watch that in person than anybody that are chilling with me, man. Right? Yeah, dude, there's like five of us.
But your thing, where your influence comes in is it may not be there in person, but
it's offering that experience, right?
It's the online, it's the social experience of giving someone a glimpse into what it's like to do what you do in a remote place like Alaska. Yeah, that's what it is right there.
Mm-hmm. And I think the guys that are real good at doing it, they want to share with people. Like I would love for more people to see Alaska and come up there. I'm always something. Please come up, man. Yeah, like just take your trailer or just fly in, and rent a truck, go pick up a sled, from the rental. It's just hard though. It's logistics, man. It's so far.
Yep.
There's like no all-inclusive. I was just like, oh, man, we need an all-inclusive, a huge lodge that has rentals, and it's, like Boulder
you just,
Mountain.
Like,
and
fly in, hop in the old van, the truck, head over to the lodge.
Dude, it's like
food, drink, sleds, terrain.
The business model's there,
Yeah.
Someone just needs some
One
guap.
day. One day we'll have the Pahno Resort, right?
That's what we need. We need like Pahno what is
Lodge.
That? Yeah, what is Carl Kuster Mountain Park? We need Pahno Mountain Park. AKA Pahno Mountain Park. Yeah. Brought to you by Skidoo.
Yep. I was interested in Avalanches. I had a conversation, a podcast with a couple riders who were in an avalanche recently, and I was like, I don't really hear much about, avalanches, fatalities in avalanches, motorized in Alaska. So I'm like, maybe I'm just not in the right circle. So listen, I did some data research here.
Yeah.
From 2020 till now, there's been 100 avalanche fatalities in Alaska. Any guess on how many of those, percentage-wise, how many of those were motorized? So
if I had to guess,
yeah.
If I had to guess, I would say between depending on what had happened, because there has been an incident where there was multi people buried. I would say between 1 and 5, right?
Yeah.
That's what I would say personally.
You're pretty close, actually.
What, like 6?
The percentage was 11%. I mean, we have an even number of 100, so
right. So 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. It's really not that much.
There was a couple where there were multiples, so I kind of jacked the number
exactly.
up there.
That's what happens, man. It's not the sledders for a lot of the part.
Yeah, most of them are climbers or heli skiers, man.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people on foot, if you can believe it, and that's where you get stuck. Yeah, and so it's in my neck of the woods. There's at least usually a couple, and specifically in this place called Hatcher's Pass, and a lot of people are on foot, man.
Yeah,
and there's just terrain traps everywhere, and they're just these little gullies. They are only 10 feet deep. These little ravines everywhere on these hills, and it just takes a small one. And if you're in that ravine and you get 10 feet of snow, it's just like, man, it's such a bad position to be. And I've seen people on, there's these two, like you said, they're climbing. Yeah. They're snowshoeing up a mountain, and they ended up, they passed away. It's just like, man, you're almost, it's dangerous, but like, man, walking up there is like,
just
really, I feel so like I do not like being off my sled on the hill, right? Like it's just like, dude, that's just. I like to be able to book it, Yeah. I like to be able to move around.
I actually just read that number wrong, so I'm gonna.
Did you?
I'm gonna correct it.
Yeah. What is it now? What is it?
So the
am I off?
You're actually closer to this.
Okay.
So there were 100 avalanche fatalities, 100 avalanche occurrences. Okay. In the last from 2020, 11% of those were their fatalities were fatal. 0%
were sledders.
Yeah. So
because I was gonna say I haven't heard.
Yeah, 11 fatalities were all in that
snowboarding, skiing, ice climbing,
that era. So anyways, the reason why.
Well, and this is what happens.
I'm like, why? What is going on? I'm like, what is there? Are you guys doing something different up there on sleds or what?
Well, one, I just feel like that's a lot of guys that are recreating that aren't riding snowmobiles that are passing away in avalanches, right? Yeah. And so those, like the zone that I'm talking about, that usually, about 1 or 2 people a year are going. It's like, I don't know if there's like a lack of communication, but like the sledders we're really tight about it. And I think maybe just because enough people have passed away.
Avalanche safety or?
Yeah, not only the avalanche, like Anchorage avalanche courses, like there's not like those classes are piled like level 1 and 2, Abby.
Yeah.
But like those guys that I was saying, the dudes that have been around for a long time that like know when to go and stuff. We have a group called AK Snow Shredders. It's actually this huge group. There's like 15,000 of us. It's like every shredder in Alaska is on snow shredders. Yeah, there's a bunch of talking, all this stuff on there. But when it's like time to not ride, there's like huge, TBAs on there. Like, guys, don't be idiots.
Yep.
Seriously. Like, and if you're going to ride today, you're in the flats.
Yeah.
Like, don't kill your buddy. Don't kill yourself.
Yep.
And so it's like, we're super transparent.
You're on it.
And they are
on it.
not nice about it either.
Yeah.
If they catch you in a zone where it's maybe sketchy and you don't have a beacon in a bag, you're getting torched.
Getting ousted.
Yes. And I've seen it happen. I've seen older guys come and rip people for it. And probably rightfully so, you know? I mean, your buddy's in danger if you don't have a beacon, right? Like, you're not, I mean, whatever, I guess, if you don't want to have a bag, but, like, you need to and then those guys aren't educated usually. And if you've taken an Avi course, man, I learned so much in my Avi 1. I was like, I'm doing 2, I was just like, I couldn't even believe, like, we did our first drill, like a burial, and I was just like, homie's dead, he's done. Like, no, like, dude. Like, I didn't even know how to dig correctly, like where to dig, and how to get someone out.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and then how to use beacons, multi-burial sequences, all this stuff, having a new one, like a new Gen 4 BCA or a Peeps or something, But, and so like my brother and a couple of my boys, we're all pretty trained up. And so like if I have 1 or 2 of those guys with me, man, it just like, you're just feeling way better, man. Sure. And like a lot of the groups, man, in Alaska, it feels clicky and it feels like nobody likes each other. But like really, it's like they only want to ride with people that they feel safe with, that they're comfortable with. They know that can stick around, that they're taking care of their rigs, that it's going to be reliable. And yeah, and sometimes it's kind of it sucks because you're like a kid with this beat sled and you want to go ride with all these guys that are real good. And they're just like, dude, it's just not, you're not there yet, you know? But,
for sure.
But yeah, I think that for the most part, I think that we're just super transparent and like,
just call it what it is. Like,
man, we had like 6 people die at Turnagain Pass and on one let go, and it's just like that. And then there's another burial up in Grandview, and it's just like a couple big ones. That generation is not gonna let you forget about it ever. They lose a couple real good buddies. And usually it's someone that's real tight in the industry. It's like it's not a coincidence. We're out there a ton, and we do like. You're playing those odds a little bit, it's just like that, Yeah. So that's what it is. I mean, it's that knowledge and it's listening to those guys with experience and it's taking those classes. And I would say that shit's all, it all plays a part. And isn't that great? I can confidently say, 1 to 5 is what I was thinking.
Yeah, you were
0.
You were locked in, man.
Yeah, and we hear about it. That's the thing. We know, like, if someone's overdue, there's like, we're probably out there helping with the recovery and stuff,
Yep.
But yeah.
Well, maybe, what's in the future for Nick in the backcountry? Do you have anything cool on the horizon here that you're really excited about?
Yeah, man. I mean, just exploring more, I guess, right? And trying to share more. I don't take many videos when I'm out just walking, like whatever I'm shed hunting or if I'm trapping and stuff. And so I'd like to move into more like a bigger audience, right? Like an outdoor kind of enthusiast audience, right? Like a kind of an adventure based kind of deal, right? Because that's where like I really get off. I love big adventure, and Alaska is such a place to do it. So, like, and not only I'm gonna do some big flips and stuff, right? I'm gonna do a couple big jumps this year, right? Got some plans in the making. Gonna bring Tristan, the boys up. It's gonna be we're planning the movie, right? Yep. So we're gonna try to get a 1-2 hour movie going. So yeah, I got a lot of things moving, and I'd really like, if you're into hunting, if you're into the trapping, or if you like the sheds, whatever, fishing, even like all sorts of that stuff. I'm trying to move into that, like more so, like I enjoy taking huge critters, and
I think that's a good move.
Yeah,
I mean that's just me being selfish because I'd love to watch.
Yeah, man.
Watch that.
Well, right, and I want to do it at a level that's like, it's nuts, right? I love that. And then I've done it already, actually. Like, I took like my first bull moose this last year solo, and it was like 5 yards, right? And it was charging me. So like, man, I was just like, dude, babe, if I had a GoPro, like you're not even gonna believe this whole like I don't even like nobody like dude, everyone just like rolls their eyes, right? And I'm just like, man, I gotta have a GoPro next time, so you guys can see this, It's like, so that's what I'm trying to get. And I see those guys stuck in the rut. They're so good at it, man. And it's hard. Like, it's like if you want to think of something that's harder to capture than sledding, it might be something like hunting or something, something that comes like. It just happens so quick, and you just like when you don't expect it, it's like you're usually never ready, you know, especially not with a camera.
If you want to film it, right?
Right,
in the moment, you're like, it's like
that
it's
better
like
be secondary.
It's like when you pop up on like the Zone,
yeah,
and you're like, we got to film first, and everyone's just like,
yeah,
right?
Oh, I'm not blowing this opportunity.
No, we're going.
No, that thing's broadside, you know. Yeah, forget about the red button. But yeah, so I mean, right, so this is like, those guys are inspiration, you know, and so like, where am I going to take it? Like, what's the goal? I don't know, like, you know, whatever with, you know, big sponsorships or whatever, like that stuff is so much driven in like actual accomplishment, like truly, like actually getting it done. Like if you could trap 20 wolves, or like if you could, you know, get a 240-inch moose or whatever, like it's so like raw, you can hold, it's tangible, like it's right there. So it's like, it almost has nothing to do with your ability to capture it.
Yeah.
It's just so, like, you could just take a picture and then someone's like, wow, that's probably a story and a half.
Yep.
You know, like that, man, I wish he made YouTube videos or, you know, whatever. So, like, I'll be doing my best to do it. And I do a lot of stuff solo. I love to just be out there alone, you know. It's dangerous, but I just enjoy being out there, man.
Sure.
So that's what I'd like to do, you know. I'll try to up my production
Let's
a
do
bit.
it, man.
Yeah, I'll get to it.
Yeah.
Busy life, baby.
Yeah. Well, we call this now our lightning round. We ask the same 2 questions.
Oh, let's go.
To everyone. Okay. The first question is, you got a brand, let's just say you have a brand new sled. She's naked, right? She's straight from the factory.
Yep.
Okay.
That's how I like them.
Okay. What are you riding? What would that be? And the real question is, what are the 3 modifications that you would make to that if you could only make 3?
If I could only make 3. So one, hands down, my favorite sled ever is the Turbo 146 free ride. Just nasty, man. And honestly, so I'm not a huge aftermarket guy. Like, I'm not building these crazy sleds. You see, like Mav and Kyle, there's not a bolt untouched on their stuff, you know. And so, you know, I'm like all about functionality, period. So, what do I want? I want to protect my sled, right? So I'm gonna wrap it, and then
I forgot this. A wrap doesn't count.
Okay.
We're breaking the rules here.
Dang. Okay.
So we can't count.
So
wraps.
I'm gonna clean the bar setup up.
Okay.
Right. So I'll probably drop the bars down, maybe like a 2-inch or something, and I've been running the stock bars ever since they made narrower grips. I really like the narrow grips. I just can yard on those things.
Yep.
So I've been just running the stock bars. They got a good bend, and they're like 1.5 inch rise. But yeah, clean up the bar setup. I ran a finger throttle a little bit last year, and I kind of do off and on. I like them both.
Yeah.
But like, I hurt my thumb, and so like sometimes if it's sore,
Pause
I
the
just
finger. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, that. And then suspension. You know,
Yep.
I've never valved shocks or nothing. I've never had a guy do my shocks, but like this last year, like riding a free ride that had the 40s that were valved better it was just like, dude, it's no brainer, man. Like, suspension is so key, and if you're trying to send it or go big, man, you're just gonna have so much more fun if you're dialed in. And then that's another thing, man. Take it to someone that knows what they're doing, because we probably don't, you know. And then ask them, you know, hey, I'm doing this. What do I need? Yeah, and be open ears. So yeah, and then third, man, do I even do 3 mods to my sled? I don't know.
You don't have
to. I like you know, if you don't have LED lights, I like LEDs. They don't melt snow off, so it's kind of a pain in the butt sometimes, but I like a good set of lights, an aux light for on my way home.
Yep.
So yeah, maybe a auxiliary light, and yeah, man, I haven't been running bumpers. I probably should run a front, but I haven't been just because I'm like a snob for lightweight.
Yeah.
Like, oddly,
sure.
I'm just like weird like that, you know. I might just like strip things off that I don't feel like I need. So like the back bumper might come off, and I might not, you know, ever change that little tiny stock one on there.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. I'm kind of picky. I'm weird. Like, I like to set my sled up just like a certain way. And,
hey, you know what? We've actually never had anyone on here that says, hey, I don't even think I do 3.
Yeah.
Right?
So I'm trying to maybe try some big wheels. I'd like to maybe try some 10-inchers, but apparently on the 146, when you compress, that little rear arm bumps into them. So I don't know. I don't know enough yet, obviously.
Yeah. Sure.
But I'd like to do a couple of things, you know.
Yeah.
I like the powder coating and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I'd like to make the sleds my own, you know. And I don't know if you're allowed to talk about it, but we're going to be spicing my sled up this year. You know, it'd be sick to see, you know.
We will have a Pahno signature dropping here soon.
Yeah.
We've seen some mock-ups of it. She looks spicy.
It's pretty slick, huh? Yeah.
So that'll be a fun one, and I would imagine that when we drop this, I mean, we might
You
even
play
time
closer,
it.
huh?
We might even just time it right up.
Yeah.
Just tee that thing right up, and just have
That'd
you know
be tight.
drop the pod and the signature at the same time. You
Yeah.
know? So,
Oh, man. No brainer.
Why not, right?
Yeah, do it. Hype it up.
So
Yeah, it's
that'll
good
be
if you
fun.
got through all this and you're hearing this. Yeah, man. Awesome. Love
Yeah.
to see it.
Yeah, and then the last question, Nick, is what's one thing that those of us who are watching this, we don't know about you? Like, what's that secret, like, little secret thing that's, you know?
Sure.
We're opening that up here on the Sleddercast podcast.
Dang, was that on my rundown here? Was I
It's the
prepared for
very
this
last-
one?
It's the
Dang.
very last question, man. Right down there at the bottom.
Here, just ask it one more time.
What's
Let me
one?
just.
Yeah. What's
me a
one
second.
thing that most of your I'm gonna ask it slow. That
Yeah.
most of your followers don't know about you.
Dude, probably that I'm just kind of weird, you know? Honestly, man, I'm different, bro.
I'm weird.
Yeah, dude, like I just live a different lifestyle. I care about different things, I think, than most people.
Yeah.
I'm like I try to be very straight, you know, and I'm like I live in like presently, right? And just like I worry about, you know, I like to do yoga, man, and I'm like into the ice bathing. Maybe the followers do know a little bit about this stuff, but I'm like a hardcore hippie or something like that, man. I like to I want to grow my own vegetables, you know what I'm saying?
A hardcore backcountry hippie.
Yeah.
Alaskan
but like not
hippie,
really, you know, just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know, I'm a freak, man.
Yeah.
You know, and I like hopefully everyone can kind of take that as like a good thing, right? Like don't be afraid to be different, you know, and don't be afraid to like not fall in line, you know?
Yeah.
And if you don't want to go party tonight and you'd rather go home, go fucking home, man, you know?
Yeah.
And if you don't want to eat shit and you want to eat good, and then eat good, and it's cool, you know?
Yeah.
Like you're not dumb for not, you know, falling in line with everybody or whatever, you know? And or if it's not, you know, whatever. If it's shooting bears isn't cool, right, with everybody, dude, like, I don't care, dude. I like to do it. And I know for a fact there's more than there should be where I'm at. So, you know, I try to be myself. That's what Kyle Hustis was saying, man. Don't change. Be yourself, bro. Like, we're going to give it to you straight, you know? So, like, yeah, I'm fucking just like everyone else, you know? I'm a normal dude that's just a little screw loose, you know? That's it, man. I'm human, man. I'm just like, you know, I went to school. I didn't think I'd be a ripper or whatever, you know, and stuff just happens. And if you work hard, I try to tell everyone, you can do anything, right? And we have so much opportunity where we're at. You know, we're all pretty dang blessed, you know, to be where we're at with what we can do, you know, with our time, right, and our effort. And it's almost like the sky's the limit for all of us, you know, around here, right? We all deal with our own crap, but, you know, Nik Pahno's dealing with crap too, you know, right? We all deal with struggles, right?
Have our own things.
Yeah, talk to your boys, you know.
Yeah.
Keep in touch with all your friends, man. Go 100%.
Love it.
Yeah.
Nick,
Yeah, so hopefully that works for an answer, man. I'm weird, dude. Like everyone can know, Nik Pahno is a little bit weird.
He's a little bit weird, but we like it, man.
Yeah, baby. And he's going to share that weirdness with you guys.
I've enjoyed this conversation.
It's epic, man.
You're very personable, easy to talk to.
Yeah.
Got a lot of experience, right? Even at a younger age.
Yeah. Man, I love to hear that.
You've crafted like a lot of cool stories and experience, man. So glad we were able to connect and drop the pod, man.
I'm stoked, dude. Yeah, thanks for having me on, baby. Let's go. Right. Thanks, Trevor.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode, man. We'll see you.